Wando, a young widow, faces prejudice and greed from her in-laws after her husband's tragic death. Wando is a radiant young woman who is a housewife, while Chaitanya, her husband, is a successful businessman. They sing along to a lively Afrobeat tune, "Hear Joy" radiating from the car. Wando asked her husband, "My darling husband, tell me, where are we going? And you are butchering the lyrics again." Chaitanya replied to her, "It is the spirit that counts. Besides, you love my terrible singing voice only because it makes you to laugh at yourself. Don't get cocky." Chaitanya reaches over his hand and squeezes Wando's hand. Their eyes meet, a silent conversation passing between them. It is a look filled with love, shared dream, and the quiet contentment of a life well lived. Chaitanya said to Wando, excited for Mama's surprise this afternoon. She replied, "Yes, so always. I wonder what she's up to this time." Chaitanya said, "Speaking of surprises, how about we ditch the usual route and take the scenic way?" Chaitanya knew how much she loved the longer coastal route, with its breathtaking view of the Atlantic Ocean. Wando replied to him, "Chaitanya, you are the best, but be warned, if we get stuck in traffic, you are buying me ice cream at Alaja's." Chaitanya throws his head back and laughs, the rich sound filling the car. He changes lane, steering towards the coastal road. Little did Wando know, this seemingly ordinary Sunday drive would be burned into her memory forever, a stark contrast to the darkness that awaits her just around the bend. Within her, unknown even to herself, resided a strength that would see her through the coming storm. Just as they were going, the car collided with a truck. Wando steps out from the driver's side, her movements slow and dazed, her beautiful clothes now ripped and stained, her scream echoing into the night. Chaitanya lies unconscious, surrounded by broken metal. The joy of the day, the carefree laughter, the anticipation of a surprise, all shattered in an instant. The world Wando knew, the melody of their life together, was none of a pain and lost. A month later, Chaitanya was to be buried. His funeral a sober affair. Wando, in black clothes, weeps uncontrollably. Her grief is overshadowed by the cold stare of Chaitanya's brother, Obinna and Emeka, who eye her with suspicion. Months later, after Chaitanya's death, because Wando was a housewife, she was not doing anything. Her late husband provided everything for her and her two children. She struggles to meet ends meet in their small apartment. Her in-laws, now openly hostile, refuse to help her. Obinna and Emeka claim Chaitanya had no savings and demand Wando to vacate their family property. Chidi, her little son, asked her, "Mommy, where are we going?" Wando forces a smile, her voice cracking with emotions. "We are just going on a little adventure. Sweetheart, don't worry. Everything will be alright." Since the accident, the vibrant colors of Wando's world have faded, replaced by a dull self-reality. The warmth of Chaitanya's absence hung heavy in the air, leaving a void that no amount of forced smile could fill. Now a new threat loomed, the shadow of homelessness cast by Chitana's greedy brothers, Obina and Emeka. Obina approached Wando and said to her, "Seeing you finally understand that this house belongs to the family. Wando, now don't let the door hurt you." On the way out, Emeka tapped Obina on the back. He said, "Come on, brother, let's get this show on the road. We have better things to do than babysit a widow." Two of them, they laughed together. Wando wiped her tears and said to them, "This is not over yet, Obina and Emeka. You may have taken my house, but you haven't broken me. I will get everything back, and you will regret the day you cross me." Her unexpected defense stunned the brothers. Seeking solace, Wando decided to visit her best friend Nneka, a businesswoman, ever supportive, advises Wando to fight her right and consult a lawyer. "Wando, my dear friend, what bring you here on this fine day?" Wando forcing a smile and said, "Nneka, I need your help." Nneka replied to her, "What is wrong, dear?" Wando calmed herself with the tears streaming down her face. She recounts the events of the past weeks, the devastating accident, the cold hostility of Chidana's brothers. Nneka's face hardened. She said, "Those vultures, how they dare treat you like this? Chidana wouldn't have stood for this." Wanda said to her, "I don't know what to do, Nneka. I have nowhere else to go." Nneka placed a hand on Wando's shoulder and said to her, "Don't worry, my dear friend. You have got a roof over your head as long as you want. We will figure out this together. Now tell me everything those scandals said." Nneka referred Wando to a lawyer, Mrs. Ebera, a lawyer known for her tenacity and unwavering commitment to justice. Wando sat down in her office and narrated her story. She said, "Then they just told me to leave, saying the house belonged to the family, not to me." Mrs. Ebera asked her, "So tell me, did your husband leave a will?" Wanda shakes her head. "No, not at all. Not that I know of. We never really discussed it." The lawyer said to her, "There might be more to this story than meets the eye one day. Did Deji have any investment, property, anything outside the house?" Wando replied to her, "He mentioned buying a new plot of land a while back, but I don't know what he planned to do with it." The lawyer said, "Don't worry, Wando. We will get to the bottom of this. First, we need to gather all the documents related to the house and Chetana's assets. Then, we will see what kind of case we can build." Wando thanked her. "Mrs. Sebere, I won't let them get away with this." Despite the challenges ahead, Wanda feels a flow of courage. With the lawyer by her side, she's ready to fight for what rightfully belongs to her. Wando now with the legal documents, the lawyer, Mrs. Sebere, confronts Obinna and Emeka in their luxurious mansion. She demands they return the family property that rightfully belonged to Wando and her children. Obinna said, "The audacity! After everything that had happened, you dare show your face here?" Wando replied to him, "This is my house, Obinna, and I'm here to stay." Emeka steps forward. "Your house? Don't make us laugh, Wando. You know you have no claim to this property." Mrs. Ebere interrupted him. "Actually, Mr. Emeka, she does. We have documents in our possession that prove that Wando is the rightful owner of this house, along with other assets belonging to her late husband." The brothers exchanged a startled glance. They became uneasy. Wando watches them with a newfound sense of power. The table is beginning to turn in her favor. Bina, trying to regain his composure, said, "We won't fall for your tricks, lawyer. This house belongs to the family. We built it together." The lawyer replied to him, "Is that so? Then perhaps you can explain these documents." She brings out sets of legal papers, placing them on a nearby coffee table. Bina and Emeka lean forward, their eyes widening as they scan the contents. They started to sweat, their bravado slowly diminishing. The lawyer continued, "Mr. Chetana brought this house in both his name and his wife's name. He also had other investments you don't even know about." This revelation shocked Obinna and Emeka. They exchanged a panic look, the realization of their greed and underhanded tactics dawning on them. Emeka said, stammering, "This can't be true. There must be some mistake." When they replied to him, "There is no mistake, Emeka. The documents are clear. Now I suggest you and your brother to reconsider your position. We are willing to settle this amicably, but if you choose to fight, you will lose." The brothers, once figures of authorities, now seem diminished, their greed stripped bare, yet they refuse to give up. Back at Nneka's small apartment, with a wild smile, she dishes out steaming plates of rice and stew. Chidi said to her mother, "Mommy, Auntie Nneka's food is the best, even better than Mama Sarah's." Nneka threw her head back in a booming laugh. "Well, that is just because you haven't had my secret ingredient yet, little one." Also said, pointing at the lamp, "Fire makes food yummy." When they said to her, "That is a clever getting man, but it is the love and care that makes Auntie Nneka's food special." She smiles at Nneka, saying a silent thank you for her unwavering support, despite the loss and hardship. Nneka said to her, "Now, don't worry about the house. Miss Ebere the lawyer will fight those greedy vultures and get what's rightfully yours. But for now, focus on these little ones and get some rest." Wando notes in gratitude. The legal battle ahead seemed difficult to deal with, but with Nneka's support brings a spark of hope. "You are right, Nneka. We will face this together, and who knows, maybe this small space will lead to even a bigger adventure." In the small lamplight room, surrounded by the love of a true friend and the resilience of her children, Wando finds the strength to carry on. The fight for justice may be long, but the seed of hope have been sown. Days later, the courtroom hums with anticipation. Wando, her back straight and her eyes filled with determination, sits beside Mrs. Ebere, the lawyer, while Obinna and Emeka, their arrogance replaced by a sense of unease. Mrs. Ebere's voice clear and bold. She said, "Your Honor, the evidence presented clearly shows that the house in question was jointly owned by Wando and her late husband. Additionally, we have uncovered documentation proving Mr. Chetana Agunna possessed a secret investment account which his brothers were completely unaware of." Mrs. Ebere lay out her case with accuracy, highlighting the inconsistencies and greed of Obinna and Emeka. The judge listens, taking notes as Mrs. Ebere speaks. Mr. Davis, Emeka and Obinna's lawyer, stood up and said, "Your Honor, there may be some inconsistency, but the property has been considered family inheritance. My client simply assumed." They interrupted him, saying, And may the court also consider the fact that Mr. Obinna and Mr. Emeke Aguna attempted, or should I use the word, evicted a grieving widow and her young children from their rightful home. Their actions speak volume. Won't you agree, Your Honor? The judge asked Mr. Davis, is your defense based on ignorance or greed? I see very little evidence of a rightful claim here. Mrs. Ebere rests her case with a confident smile, the weight of evidence turning the tide in Wanto's favor. The judge said the court will take a brief recess to review the presented evidence. We will reconvene shortly. After 30 minutes break, the court started up again. The judge said, after carefully consideration of the presented evidence, the court finds in favor of Nwando Aguna. The house in question and all the assets belonging to the late Mr. Chetana are rightfully hers. A wave of relief washes over Nwando, tears streaming down her face, a bittersweet mix of joy and sorrow. The fight has been long and extremely tiring, but justice has finally prevailed. Mrs. Ebere squeezed Nwando's hand, a silent congratulation. Obinna raises his voice. Your Honor, this can't be right. The judge interrupted him with a firm tone. The court decision is final. Mr. Obinna Aguna, you and your brother will have 30 days to vacate the property and return all the appropriate funds. Obinna threw his brother a venomous look. Their greed has backfired, leaving them not only financially crippled, but also publicly disgraced. Congratulating Nwando, you did it, Mrs. Ebere said to her. Nwando manages a watery smile. Though she has won the case, the victory feels hollow without Chetana by her side. She replied to the lawyer, thank you, ma'am. I couldn't have done it without you. However, a newfound strength shines in her eyes. She has emerged from the ashes of grief and injustice, ready to rebuild her life and secure a brighter future for herself and her children. Days later, the market buzzes. Nneka holding a piece of Ankara fabric. They want to buy, said to Nwando, look at you, Nwando, glowing like the sun itself. Justice is a good thing, no. Nwando replied to her, it is indeed, Nneka. I can finally breathe again. Look at those two. They are having a field day choosing fabrics for their new rooms. Chidi said to her mother, Mom, can I have this for my curtains? It matches the sky. Mama also said, me too. I want the yellow one for my bedspread, like a lion. Nneka and Nwando's share a warm smile. The children's innocent joy reflects the lightness that has returned to their life. Nneka asked her, so, any plans for your little victory celebration? Nwando replied to her, actually, yes, I am thinking of using the money we got back to open a small shop of my own, right here in the market, selling beautiful things, just like you. Nneka claps her hand in delight. Nwando, that's brilliant. You have an eye for style and everyone knows how good you are with people. The dream of a brighter future takes shape before her eyes. Nwando, no longer a victim, has become an architect of her own destiny. Nwando decided to visit Chetana's grave. She kneeled beside the grave, her eyes filled with sorrow. Chidi and Numa stands beside her, their faces subjected with a dignified understanding that goes beyond their young age. Nwando said, Chetana, I did it. We won. The house is ours again. And guess what? I am going to open my own shop right in the market, just like Nneka, my dear friend. Chidi placed a small sea shell on the grave and said to his mother, Daddy will be happy for you, mommy. He's watching us from the skies. You're right, my love. It's always with us in our hearts and in the stars above. We may have lost you, Chetana, but we will never lose hope. We will build a beautiful life and home, just like you would have wanted us to. The market vibrates with life. Wando's new shop, named Wando's Embrace, in honor of her loyal friend, stand out with its own bright and overflowing display. Wando, her face radiating with joy, chats with a customer, an infectious enthusiastic drawing people in. Chidi and Uma, no longer shy, assist with confidence, their laughter echoing through the shop. A customer walked in. Wow, Wando, this place is amazing. So many beautiful things to choose from. Thank you, Mama Ngozi. I handpicked every piece myself. Come, let me show you this beautiful silk I just got in. Later that day, Wando, surrounded by loved ones, booms with delight. Nneka, Mrs. Ebere, the lawyer, and several friends from the market share stories and laughter, creating a warm and joyous atmosphere. Nneka raises a glass of wine to Wando, a woman of strength, resilience, and the most fabulous shop in the market. The group of friends cheers, raising their glasses to a toast. Wando, touched by their well wishes, wipes a happy tears from her eyes. Mrs. Ebere, the lawyer, said, You have come a long way, Wando. You fought for what was yours and built a beautiful life. Wando, her voice filled with gratitude, she said, I couldn't have done this without all of you. Nneka, your support has been unwavering. Mrs. Ebere, your legal expert, saved the day. And to all of you, your friendship has been my rock. Nneka, remember that day in the small apartment you said you will face the vultures and win? You were right. Nneka replied to her, We will always win, Wando, as long as we have each other. They share a smile. Wando raises her glass. Her eyes, once filled with grief and uncertainty, now sparkle with joy and determination. A life rebuilt, a family united, and a future beaming with hope. Wando's stories offers a wealth of wisdom. Face challenges head on and never give up on your dreams. Lean on loved ones and build a support system. Believe in yourself and inspire others to do the same. Your actions and spirit can leave a lasting positive impact. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. If you liked Wando's story, give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for more inspiring tales. Share Wando's stories with your loved ones who might need a little inspiration.